And it was really an incredible compliment. And I wasn't taking it as an incredible compliment. I was instead feeling offended, which is crazy, isn't it? Welcome to this podcast where you're going to learn the strategies, the tactics, and also gain the confidence to speak your mind unapologetically at work and in your career so that you can get ahead faster, you can have more impact, be a better leader, and be respected as yourself authentically. And I'll be your host, Ivna Curry. I'm the CEO and founder of AssertiveWay.com, INSEAD MBA, and a Forbes contributor. Now let's get started. As a professional woman, you've probably received some compliments, even compliments from women that you didn't receive very well. Let me give you some examples of things that I've heard and that I've experienced myself. Because I worked in an airline, I worked in analytics and revenue management and planning and strategy, yet the compliments from people that did not know me would be, "Oh, you look like a cabin crew," or "Are you a cabin crew?" For a very long time, that actually offended me. I felt like I have more brains than that. I'm not a cabin crew. But here's what happened. First, I realized that I was discriminating a little bit against cabin crew. And once I actually had cabin crew friends, I realized how wonderful they are. And it didn't become such a negative thing for me anymore. But second, I realized what they were actually saying. Sure, I value my smartness, my intelligence more than my looks. But if somebody wanted to say, "Hey, I think you look great," because a lot of the cabin crews, especially where I worked in the Middle East, usually they're very young and they're very beautiful and very attractive. They really pick the most beautiful women out there. And it was really an incredible compliment. And I wasn't taking it as an incredible compliment. I was instead feeling offended, which is crazy, isn't it? And it took me a while to start to acknowledge and realize, that was a compliment. And not only that, to actually receive it and feel it like a compliment and not like something that I didn't want to be, right? That was against my identity. When I learned to accept it as a real compliment and take it in fully, I started feeling even better about myself. It was a moment of joy and positivity rather than a moment of anger and upset with those compliments, which, by the way, people were handing out with the most positive intention that they could possibly have. They valued that. That's what they could see in that moment. And they were giving me the gift of a compliment, of equating me or to a cabin crew at the time, Etihad Airways. Beautiful cabin crews, the most beautiful women from all over the world, so that was a huge compliment, but it took me a while. There was another woman who I talked to, and she said that she would often get the compliment, that you're a strong woman. You're such a strong woman. And she hated that. She hated that so much. She's like, "What do you mean I'm a strong woman?" And she didn't really know how to respond to that because she hated it so much. It was just gut negative response. Now, if you think of that, it's like, oh, strong woman, that must be a positive thing, right? Yet she saw it very negatively. Again, what I'm trying to share is sometimes we need to really think about what people are trying to share. We have an idea that they're trying to give us a compliment. Like, we know that their intention is a compliment, but we don't take it that way, and we resist. We resist so hard. We just don't even respond in a proper way, right? We might even say, "Thank you. I appreciate it," but we might not mean it, and we might not take it as a compliment, which is unfortunate because it is a gift that is being extended to you. And if it's driving anger and resentment, then that's no good. That's not the best way to receive a gift. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with the gift. It doesn't mean that you have to make that gift part of your identity. It doesn't mean that you're going to be that person. You're going to be a cabin crew. You can be a strong one. But it means that you're just graciously accepting something that has been handed to you as a gift. And that's the intention. When you know that's the intention, accept it. Thank you. Smile. And that's it. You can even give it a little pause, right? If you're thinking about it, you need a moment. And actually that pause could actually get people to explain their compliment a little bit more, which can be helpful to you. Otherwise, just smile and say, "Thank you. I appreciate that." It's a very simple method of receiving it. And once you smile, and it's also going to help you feel that compliment a little bit more, because, you know, at the end of the day, you don't want people to feel like you're rejecting their compliments. And even if you don't reject it verbally, you're rejecting it if you're thinking negative things, if you're rejecting it mentally in that moment. I can tell you, your face, your body language, your facial expression, your micro expressions are showing in that moment to that person that you're not liking, that you're not accepting their gift, and that you're not liking their gift. And that is a terrible feeling for the person who is sharing that compliment. That is a terrible feeling, and they will feel scared of giving you any compliments again. So take a moment and really think about the intention of the other person. If what it takes is to say thank you to their intention, then do that. Say thank you for the gift. When you receive the gift from someone that you don't like, I avoid sweets and sugar, but you would get a lot of gifts that were loaded with sugar. It was like 50% sugar. Do you feel angry that they're not respecting your meal plan, your diet? No. You accept it. You're happy because you know what they intend. And it's the same thing with words, when they describe you in certain ways, right? A lovely engineer got a feedback from a woman saying, hey, you do not look like an engineer. So this is a female engineer. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, you don't look like an engineer. So they're implying, oh, you look pretty, so you must not look like an engineer. You don't look like an engineer because engineers don't look pretty. And again, people do have these biases. They do have these stereotypes. It's unfortunate, it is. But at the end of the day, it is a compliment. You can choose to accept it and then try to educate them, but without being sarcastic. Try not to be sarcastic in these moments. I know there's a temptation to insult the situation, to show them that they're wrong, to ignore it, to deny the compliment, all these things. I know there's an instinct to do that, but don't do that initially, and start to really focus, hone in on the place, the intention where this gift of compliment comes from, even if you don't agree with it. Whatever that compliment is, you're going to feel better. It's going to be better for the relationship with that person. And, you know, try not to guess what people are meaning from that. Oh, why are they saying that I am this kind of person? What are they thinking when they say this? It's often not that complicated. It's so simple. They're just thinking, oh, I spot something that I think is really nice about you, and I want to convey it as a compliment. And they will. So just take it as it is. And even if you don't believe in it, even if you don't think it's real, and even if you think that, you know, it might be a disguised insult, just accept it and say thank you and smile. I'm so delighted that you joined me here today. And remember that you can check out the notes for the show of this episode on my blog at assertiveway.com/blog. So let me ask you, how does it feel when a friend thinks of you and shares something useful with you in your email, LinkedIn? It feels good, doesn't it, to be remembered? Because there's no better gift than the gift of sharing success strategies and things for us to grow and do more and be happy. So I invite you to share this podcast with a friend that you cherish and you support, so that they can feel that care and support from you too. Thank you once more, and I wish you a wonderful, delightful day and week ahead.